Well, some advocates have said that there should be cost of living adjustments for each base.
So now we're talking about basic universal income, and we're adding a COLA to it, a cost of living adjustment. So it's not good enough for Andrew Yang to be running around the country right now talking about giving everybody in this country $1,000 a month. And he never, by the way, when he's asked how do you pay for that, he never exactly answers it. He always kind of says, oh, well, high tech, San Francisco is going to pay for that. Well, what would happen, Andrew, if high tech in San Francisco decides to move to another country? How are you going to extract the $1,000 a month for everybody in this country if that company folds, for example? How are you going to pull it off if that company or those companies cease to exist? What if the American people say, you know what? I don't like the idea of you taking my money, whether you're rich or you're poor. What if the American people don't like the concept of taking my dollars and giving them to somebody else who's not producing? My dollars as a productive member of our civil society being given to someone who is not productive. And so now they're talking about not just a universal basic amount of $1,000 a month. He's advancing the ball here, like all good Marxist socialists do. He's talking about a cost of living adjustment. So maybe you start off at $1,000 and every year you get 10% more. Where's that 10% going to come from? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We'll just tax the 1%. The 1%ers will pay for it. Well, what would happen if the 1%ers say, you know what, I'm not going to stand for this anymore. I'm moving to the south of France. What happens to the source of income then? You geniuses. Roll tape.
Basic income based on geography. I honestly think that...
Stop tape. So now they're also basing it on geography. So in other words, if you live in California, well, that's a pretty blue state. I think because it's a blue state, the mastermind is going to give those people in the blue state a little bit more than, say, for example, people living in a very red state like Texas. Texas is a red state, so, you know, the people who live in Texas, they're not going to get that COLA. They're not going to get that cost of living adjustment. They're not going to get the full $1,000. We'll give the people in California maybe $1,200, and we'll give the people in Texas, because it's a red state, $800. You see how this whole thing works? And who is to decide? Who is the genius behind this scheme? Who decides who gets the money and how much they get? The government. The geniuses in government. But this is part and parcel to a bigger picture here, which is part of a socialist society. If you impose something like basic universal income, this is one component as part of the scheme to redistribute wealth of a socialist society. But think about what it does to the very soul of this republic, but any human being. Basic universal income is a basic attack on the very soul of a human being, right? Because people want to produce, people want to participate, and people, some, choose to work and get money in exchange for it. But this is human nature. If you take away that desire to produce, if you take away that desire to go out and slay the dragon and earn money, what do you leave in its place? You have a slug. You have a society full of slugs. And that's what you want when you're a mastermind that's trying to impose Marxist socialism on a society. So this guy and his socialist scheme to redistribute wealth is the reason that constitutionalists like myself might run for federal elected office. We can't let these anti-free market masterminds destroy our way of life. They are intent on upending our capitalist society, which has produced the greatest standard of living in the history of mankind. And so that is why constitutional people like myself sometimes run for Congress.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.